I was thinking it's probably about time for me to watch The Departed again with Miles Kennefic, right? Right. Hey, it is your good friend. It is your pal. It is your compadre. It's TC, everybody. It is 8 p.m. on the East Coast of America on August 6th, 1984. Wait, it is 2025. I was close. And it is 5 p.m. Pacific time in Arizona and on the west coast of America. I guess it's tomorrow already in London. And then, of course, tomorrow, definitely in Tokyo. And this is Rock This Town Live. We are hanging out here every Monday through Friday, talking about the best in rock and heavy music, as Ozzy would say. And boom, doing it up in style. We'll start by reliving the past in just a second. Then there's a ton of Metallica news, actually. Pretty cool. And then a little Maynard James Keenan, if you love Maynard. And then I'll talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. Basically, some of the better performances in the history of the Super Bowl. Plus, we'll have new vinyl releases that got announced today or recently. And then new concert announcements got released today or announced today or recently. I just did that. And then finally, what else? Oh, my vinyl of the day is a record that I do not have that I wish I had. So I want to talk about a little Butthole Surfers. So you got that to look forward to in just two shakes of a lamb's tail. All right, cool. Let's get the party started. I always love to relive the past when the show starts, and I'm going to relive the past with something that happened. What was this? June 22nd of 2010 on a Tuesday? Who the hell has a festival on a Tuesday? I guess only Europeans. In case, actually, this was in Hungary. Was this in Hungary? No, Bulgaria. It was in Bulgaria. So apparently Tuesdays and Wednesdays in Bulgaria are good times. So, but yeah, this is the Sofia Rock Sonosphere Festival from 10 years ago, which is that tour of Europe, at least, that Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax did together. And then, of course, they came out and did the Diamond Head song, Am I Evil? Very nice. And yeah, a very cool show. I would have loved to have seen that. I am a huge Metallica fan. I love myself some Dave Mustaine and Megadeth. Anthrax is great. I've never really gotten into Slayer for some reason. I don't know why I've never gotten into Slayer, but it's just one of those things where, it is what it is. It happens from time to time, I suppose. So there you go. Anyways, the kind of a great second bill on a Wednesday of all days, Hump Day, Rammstein. I always want to say Rammstein. Rammstein, Man of War, Alice in Chains, and Stone Sour. So pretty cool. Not too shabby, if you ask me. And if you're asking me, well, then I'm telling you. So there you go. All right. Hey, Beat After Beat. Thanks for hanging out with the show today. I appreciate it. I'm going to get to some of that Metallica news right now. So Metallica announced a couple of things today. Actually, a slew of things. Metallica announced Maximum Metallica to launch August 29th on Channel 42 on the Sirius XM app. I was thinking about that the other day. Actually, I've been thinking about that for several days. How come Metallica does not have a Sirius XM channel? And maybe it's about money. And ironically, the news that comes out yesterday is that Howard Stern may be getting the boot from SiriusXM, or specifically that SiriusXM doesn't want to pay Howard the $100 million. Basically, they're paying him $1 million per show that he does every year. And he does about 100 shows a year out of the 365 days. So, but Howard's getting up there, I guess, now. What is he, 72? And then, of course, of all things, Lars Ulrich of Metallica shows up on the Howard Stern show today on SiriusXM. What a wonderful world. And they announced that Maximum Metallica coming to SiriusXM August 29th. And then to kind of as a celebration of the new channel on SiriusXM, which is pretty cool. I do have SiriusXM on my phone and in the car. Jen has it on her phone and in the car as well. We do love Hair Nation. I love Ozzy's Boneyard. I love Classic Rewind. I love 80s on 8. There's a bunch of other stations that I love as well, but definitely Maximum Metallica will be one of those stations that I set in the future. So, but yeah, Metallica going to be playing an intimate show on August 28th at Stephen Talkhouse. Never heard of it, but okay. In Amagansett, whatever that is, New York, to celebrate the launch. Now, The club only holds 250 people, so it's going to be a hot ticket. And then the other thing about it is there's neighbors to where this place is. So they're going to actually play during the afternoon, a la, I guess, kind of what is the 28th? The 28th, let me check the calendar here. The 28th would be a Thursday. So a Thursday afternoon show. It's almost like they're playing in Bulgaria again, going back to the Big Four in Bulgaria some 15 years ago. But yeah, they're going to do an afternoon show, and Hertz is actually sponsoring it, and you can actually enter to win if you go somewhere. I'm sure Metallica's website has it. Maybe the Hertz website has it, where you can win round trip air for two and a Hertz rent-a-car, of course. Hopefully they give you the upgrade all the way to the best car instead of like some crappy car, unfortunately. And then on the other side of things, there is you get 2 tickets to the show. So not too shabby if you're a big Metallica fan, and I do love myself some Metallica. So there you go. All right, cool. The Sphere was mentioned on the Howard Stern show today as well. Lars was asked about that. He confirms that Metallica is considering the Las Vegas Sphere residency. He says they'd love. He basically says that Lars went to the first night that U2 opened the Sphere because he was fascinated by it. He didn't want to see any video on YouTube or anything else. He wanted to experience it. He says that management has been talking to the Sphere. Of course, there was rumors that that's going to get announced potentially soon. And that would be October of 2026 that Metallica would be there. At least that's the rumors. Lars didn't address that directly, but say that they have been talking to the company that runs the Sphere, which is Madison Square Garden, actually. So there you go. So it's all happening, as they would say in that wonderful movie called Almost Famous by Cameron Crowe. And then in addition to, while he was talking to Howard Stern, Ulrich was asked, Lars was asked, I never want to call Lars by his last name because Hetfield I can say, yeah. Hammett, I can say, but for Lars, it's always got to be his first name. Lars says they'd love to play the Super Bowl, yet haven't been approached. Well, here's the issue. If Lars is telling the truth there, sometimes people have to tell little white lies. I get it. A great Sammy Hagar song, by the way. If you've never heard that song, Little White Lies, it's fantastic. But some people have to sometimes tell little white lies. But if that is indeed the case and they haven't been approached, then there's no chance of Metallica playing the Super Bowl in February because the NFL season kicks off in 4 weeks from this upcoming weekend. And last time, or usually when they announce the Super Bowl headliner, it's on that Sunday, the first weekend of the games. Like last year it was Kendrick Lamar. So we had that announcement in week 1 of the NFL season. So figures we'd probably have the same thing there as well to build hype. So we shall see. I'm not too confident in that. In fact, let's talk about the Super Bowl odds. Who was performing at the Super Bowl? There's a website called Kaishai. I believe that's where you can like trade futures. It's like Polymarket. If you've ever heard of Polymarket, you can bet on future events happening, like who will be the next president, who's going to play the Super Bowl, who will the next pope be, all kinds of stuff. They take bets on everything. Well, right now, odds are Jay-Z. So the thing with this is, which is kind of disappointing in some ways, is that Rock Nation has been running the Super Bowl for the NFL for the last, 6 years? I think it's been now 6 years. They did a 5-year deal back in 2019, and they renewed it, I guess, last year. So what have we seen out of the last? Well, we've really seen pop music. Rock music has disappeared from the Super Bowl. I mean, the last rock band to play the Super Bowl, I mean, you could argue it could be Maroon 5, but come on, Maroon 5? No. The Who? I guess that's probably upwards of at least, I think 20 plus years since the Who played the Super Bowl. So just kind of weird. Coldplay was in there, but once again, is Coldplay really a rock band? I don't know about that. So Jay-Z's company called Rock Nation has been running the Super Bowl, and he's basically booked everybody under the sun that is a big name on his kind of management company. And he's kind of running out of names at this point, other than himself. Of course, his wife has played the Super Bowl. Beyonce did. So the odds are that it's Rock Nation. It's going to be an artist like Jay-Z or Doja Cat. God help us if it's Doja Cat. She is horrible. I'm just not a fan of Doja Cat. I just cannot take that. For some reason, there's some artists I can just not take. Jay-Z, I can handle Jay-Z. He's got some good songs. I get it. Very nice. New York State of Mind. He's got the song he did with Rick Rubin, which I love. I forget what it's called, though. Anyways, I digress. Bad Bunny is second favorite right now behind Jay-Z. Miley Cyrus, I don't see that. Doja Cat, that kind of seems likely given the fact that Jay-Z's company runs the damn thing for halftime. Sabrina Carpenter, once again, I don't see that as well. Drake might be a long shot. Morgan Wallen, I had no chance of that. I mean, they're just not doing anything in the country world at all. They're just steering clear of country music, so I don't think there's any chance of that. Taylor, she doesn't need to do it because she's kind of the biggest artist in the world, or she has been. Billie Eilish, once again, probably a long shot. Metallica, I just don't. Even though it's in San Francisco, the Super Bowl this year, hey, it was in San Francisco 10 years ago, and they sure as hell didn't put Metallica on the bill. So, and of course, these bands don't get paid anything. It's just for the promotion. Like Kendrick Lamar announced a new album coming out, hence it tied the Super Bowl promotion tied in with the promotion for his new album. So maybe there's a new Jay-Z album coming out, or maybe there's a new Doja Cat record coming out, and then Ice Spice. I mean, what? No, never going to happen. So the only chance of us seeing a good band is Metallica. Would I mind seeing Morgan Wallen? I would take anything different at this point. I'm guessing Bad Bunny might be a chance because, of the Spanish population. So that might go over pretty well. And then as far as the pop stars, whatever. It is what it is. Billie Eilish would be acceptable to me, but I just don't see Billie Eilish playing the Super Bowl. So there you go. One more story, and then we'll check the chat. Maynard James Keenan. I'm on the side of artists that are doing this. Ghost is doing this. Maiden has asked their fans not to record the shows anymore. I mean, they can, but it's just a big waste of time to record the show or record a little sound. I mean, I have stuff from Jen and I going to see Def Leppard. Have I ever, I've maybe watched it once in my life, and it just sits on the phone. Michael Bublé, I think I got a video because Jen's a big fan of Michael Bublé. We went to see him once. Okay, got a little video of that. That's it. Nobody ever watches it. The quality is terrible. I mean, there's always going to be somebody better recording something at a show. Anyways, Maynard James Keenan of Tool, Pucifer, A Perfect Circle, on people recording his shows with their phones. I love this quote, actually. It's annoying. It's distracting. And the thing you're getting on your phone sucks. It does suck. I know phones have improved greatly. The cameras in phones have improved greatly. But if you're in the 18th row on the floor, you can't zoom in that much. And if you do zoom in, it's going to pixelate. The phones aren't that good. It's not like it's a camera phone. It's not an OG camera, that can zoom in with a big telephoto lens. So he also says it's not a good representation. You're not going to go home and watch it. You're not going to go home and watch it. So I think it's kind of like, well, this person's doing it, so I'm going to do it. And then they'll tell two people and they'll do it and stuff like that. It's almost like peer pressure in school where oh man, I got to wear Jordache jeans. All the girls are wearing Jordache jeans. So if I don't wear Jordache jeans, do Jordache jeans still exist, by the way? I hope so. Oh, and like, what was it? Was it Michael McKean or Lenny or Squiggy that did that? Or I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, if they're doing it, then we'll do it. No, don't do it. Don't do it. And you're just holding your arms up and it's just blocking the view for everybody. I hate it. So anyways, I would encourage you, if you're going to a show in the future, put the phone down or just leave it in the trash or somewhere, just because these things, what the? These things are the devil in some ways, I gotta say. These things are the devil. By the way, check out that cool photo that Jen took. That's not what I'm trying to do there. There you go. Check out that cool photo. Now, that's a photo that I'd save and use. So, anyways, very nice. All right, cool. Let's see if anything's going on. I don't know why that's not working for me, but it's not working for me. So, anyways, hey, Herver, thanks for hanging out. Good to see you as well. Do you have a real name I can call you? Sure, you can call me Malcolm, Malcolm. I have a pet peeve if people spell it wrong. People spell it wrong all the time, and then I spell their names wrong all the time on purpose. So there you go. Not too shabby. Anyways, very nice. All right, cool. Let me see. What else is next? Let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's talk about this. The best Super Bowl halftime performances, in my humble opinion. So I was going to do best rock albums of 1990 today, but then the Metallica talk about the Super Bowl, and it's just not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen. I'm going to say there's no chance of it happening in an effort to speak it into existence, though there's no chance of it happening. It's not going to happen. Not with Rock Nation, Jay-Z's company producing the Super Bowl. It's been producing it the last 6 years. It's not going to happen. There's not going to be a Metallica band, a band like Metallica on the bill, or Morgan Wallen or anybody else like that. Forget about it, as they say. So I figured, let's go over the best Super Bowl halftime performances. I'm going to put, this is a low bar. There's not a lot of great performances. Number one is by far the best, which is Prince, and I'll get to in just a second. But everything else is kind of is it memorable? Not really. I did enjoy the Dr. Dre and Friends from I guess we're coming up on 4 years ago. That's when Dr. Dre was there, and then Snoop Dogg showed up, Eminem showed up, and 50 Cent showed up, do a little bit of In the Club. So as kind of like an old school hip hop fan, in the 90s and early 2000s, I enjoyed that. I thought that was fun, because hip hop and metal and rock have always kind of had that synergy together, whether it's Anthrax and Public Enemy, whether it's Run DMC and Aerosmith, or whatever. So I enjoyed that personally. I thought that was good. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Tom Petty, always legendary. But look at the dates on these. Tom Petty, 2008. The Stones, 2006, U2, 2002, and then Prince in 2007. After like the 2010s, it's been nothing but crap, in my humble opinion. So that's just the way it is. But Tom Petty, always great. Rest in peace to the great Tom Petty. The Stones, classic. They just came out and played, man. That's what you want from the Stones. Came out and play. Same with U2. And then Prince, In the Rain, in Miami, is anything better than that. You spelled my name wrong, beat after beat. Malcolm. But maybe you did that on purpose just to get a rise out of me. And I kind of dig that and appreciate it. So there you go. All right. But yeah, so that is my list of best Super Bowl halftime performances. Would you want to see Metallica play at the Super Bowl? I'm guessing the answer is yes. Would you want to see anybody that isn't in pop music, that isn't in hip hop, play at the Super Bowl? At this point, the answer would be yes. I would take a country artist. I would take Garth Brooks, even though Garth Brooks is kind of, I don't know what's going on with Garth Brooks these days. And he's the guy that you can only get his music at Walmart or something. Okay. And you can't get it on streaming. Okay, Garth, whatever. You're fantastic, but come on, get over yourself. But yeah, I'd take anybody like that. Hell, I'm gonna trot out. How about the Big Four? That's what I want. I want the Big Four at the Super Bowl. I want Slayer. I want Metallica. I want Megadeth, and I want Anthrax, baby. That's what I want. I want the Big Four reunion in San Francisco this year, or in February of next year, I guess it is. Coming up for the Super Bowl. But yeah, expect the Super Bowl artist to be announced sometime around September 7th, first week of the NFL season. We are 4 weeks away from football. The Hall of Fame game took place last weekend, and then now the preseason starts with only 3 games, thank God. It's still 3 weeks too long, in my humble opinion. You could do like one. I think just cutting it down to like 2 weeks would be nice. Extending the NFL season another week would be nice. I myself would like to see the NFL play 22 weeks. Everybody's like, oh, the players, they can't take it. How much time does the average player play in an NFL game, going full on. Now, granted, they're hell of an athlete. I get it. But what? The team a team averages 20 minutes probably of possession each. Well, let's say 60-minute game. Okay, so 30 minutes obviously for each team if it's a somewhat of an even game. Each team has the ball 30 minutes. Of those 30 minutes, maybe 18 minutes are actually gameplay as opposed to the clock just running between plays. Maybe it's even less. Maybe it's 16 minutes. So for 16 minutes for 1 week, you have to kind of go all out for 16 minutes. These guys can handle a 22-week schedule. Let's bring the 22-week schedule. Let's make it happen in the NFL. I want it to happen so badly. I demand it happen. Look at the Premier League over in Europe and stuff in England. They do like what, 28, 30, 36 weeks or something. It's insane. That's why that sport is so huge. Not that the NFL has a problem drawing an audience, because hell, the NFL, I saw the NFL Hall of Fame game got like 50% more viewers than the NBA Finals. So that's gotta put it where it stands. By the way, how about the WNBA and their problem with green, you know what I mean? Well, yeah. I don't know if you've seen that story. The WNBA has a problem with people throwing green things onto the court these days, and now they've banned you bringing bags into the arena where you can hide your green thingamabob. So there you go. Sorry. All right, cool. Let's get to some vinyl releases. I thought this was kind of cool. It's an orange vinyl. Now this isn't the OG version of Halloween. This is like the last 3 movies that have come out, the last, I guess, 3 movies in the last 5 years or so. It's on vinyl. It's a box set. It's going to run you, what, $165 the price on that is. Comes out, what is that, October 3rd? So, but kind of a cool box set. Some of these box sets for the horror stuff are very, very cool. We're talking super cool. In fact, I would argue that like that was it a Rob Zombie? I think it was a Rob Zombie box set from one of his movies. It was so damn cool. We had that on the show maybe a year ago or something. Just amazing. So there you go. That's coming out. What else is coming out as far as vinyl? Oh, Thievery Corporation. This is the 20th anniversary of this record. I don't know much about the Thievery Corporation, to be honest with you, but hey, got to give them some love. Run you about $35 if you're interested in the 20th anniversary edition of that record. Also, iRobot from Alan Parsons Project coming out. Very nice. This is going to be on what, a clear, kind of clearish white vinyl, a special edition, and you can get a black vinyl as well. These are half-speed master, which means they're recorded slower, because obviously if you're doing vinyl and you're, well, basically the whole process of, building everything out when it comes to vinyl, and when they master the record and they stamp the record, they're recording it at kind of 33 1/3. Well, this records it at what, 16 3/4, so it's slower. So basically all that means that the production takes twice as long, but it's going to sound, in theory, twice as better. Probably not twice as better, but still it'll sound better. So that is a half-speed master of the classic record by iRobot's Alan Parsons. And then finally, Van Halen. I mentioned this the other day on the show, Diver Down, an original master recording. They've done the first 5 Van Halen albums as original master recordings. They're going to do 1984 next. And now they're taking pre-orders for Diver Down for $125. You get 29 minutes of music, including what, 3 or 4 covers. So you get new material from Eddie that probably equates to about 18 minutes of music. For $125 if you want the mobile fidelity pressing. I myself would pass on this one. I'll take Van Halen 1. Ooh, yeah, I would take Van Halen 2. I would take Women and Children First as well. Damn, I would take Fair Warning, and I would definitely take 1984. Diver Down, it's Van Halen, so it's still good, but it's not the best Van Halen. Let's just put it that way. All right, cool. Anything else going on in the chat right now? Let me check that. Kind of a quiet night, so I can respect that because sometimes quiet nights are a good thing. So there you go. Paula mentions that Halloween set is so nice. Mike would love it. We are ready for Halloween season. I know a lot of people love Halloween. Jen was just talking about the other day. She says, "I wish it was Christmas because I guess we're what 5 months from Christmas, and now we're coming up on I guess what." This is so about 2.5 months from Halloween. So it's coming around the bend, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming around the bend. A reminder, make sure if you're digging the show, make sure you like us on YouTube, subscribe. Boom. That's all I ask. Jerry will peck your eyes out if you don't. Jeez, Jerry. Got a little violent there with your language. Wow. Now he's a nice parrot. He's only pecked out the eyes of well, I won't say, but we'll leave it at that. The Royal Flush Tour. I think we've all had a royal flush today. Anyways, that is coming up. It starts the 10th, so that's this weekend. Heart with special guest Todd Rundgren and Cheap Trick. Starting in San Francisco, I do see an Arizona date, but it's up in the northern part of Arizona in Prescott Valley. A lot of kind of secondary cities they're hitting: Allentown, Bethel, New York, Akron, Anaheim. I guess that's kind of a secondary city if you compare it to, Los Angeles. Green Bay they're going to. Very nice. So it's kind of a good tour if you're in kind of what they'd call secondary markets for a number of things. In fact, some of these markets may be considered third. What would be, if it's secondary, what would third be? Wow. I don't know. Anyways, thirdadary market. So not too shabby. Ann and Nancy Wilson, of course, they fought for a little bit, but now they've made up. And Ann, it seems like she's doing better. So that's awesome. And there you go. And I think they just celebrated 2 billion streams for their record. So not too shabby for Heart. And in fact, actually, when I was doing the 1985 records, my favorite records, I considered that Heart record, that self-titled with If Looks Could Kill on it, These Dreams, Never. That was a great album. A lot of hits off that record. I dug that record. Volbeat also on tour. I know that they've already been to Phoenix, unfortunately. That is some small print on this. I can't even read that, and I apologize. But right now they're out with Hailstorm, touring the country. If I could read this, I would try. Let me see if I can. Let me see. That didn't work. That worked. Let's see. Can I see where they are tonight? They're in New Jersey, and they're in PA, they're in Indiana, and throughout kind of the East Coast and the Midwest. So there you go. And then they go on the road overseas after that. So Volbeat, one of those really cool bands that I discovered owning a record store. I do love the album, the live record they did, Telia, or what is it? Let's Boogie at Telia or something like that. Seal the Deal, Let's Boogie at, I think it's called Let's Boogie at Telia Parkin. So very good show. Lars showed up at that show and did a little drumming with them. So not too shabby on that one. Joan Jett has got a tour date. Is that this weekend? I think it's this weekend. I think I read it was this weekend. They didn't put a date on here. Oh my God. I think it's this weekend coming up. It's at Iron City Stage, wherever the hell that is. Winger is opening the show. Let's see. August, there's the date, August 8th. Wow, I'm blind. I'm literally blind. Friday night, August 8th, Iron City Stage. Iron City Stage. I don't know what, it's probably Michigan or something. Oh, it's Pittsburgh, I guess. It's in Pittsburgh. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, or if you're in Detroit, you want to drive down to Pittsburgh, boom, there you go. Joan Jett and the Blackhearts with Winger. Not too shabby. I don't know. Cool in my humble opinion. And then Queensryche, of course, Michael Wilton, Eddie Jackson still in the band. They've got a tour starting in November with Accept. I love the OG logo on the tour poster. Starts in Denver. Do I see a Phoenix date on here? I do see a Phoenix date. That is in December 16th. So there you go. I guess they're going throughout the U.S., so not too shabby. Except, unfortunately, does not have Udo Dirk Schneider in the band anymore. Of course, you remember Udo from Balls to the Walls. that awesome video. So there you go. Not too shabby. I keep saying not too shabby a bunch today. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. And that's the way it is. Beat After Beat mentions, yeah, that Winger and Joan Jett would be a good concert. I know Jen has seen Joan Jett live in recent years, probably in the last 7 or 8 years. I think she saw Joan Jett, and they were great. And then Winger, I don't think I've ever seen Winger. I'm not sure if Jen has ever seen Winger. So that's a good question. If you dig in the show, there's Jerry the dog. He has not gouged anybody's eyes out lately, so that's good. His fur coat looking immaculate, Jerry. Very nice. Make sure you smash the like button. I'd appreciate it. And if you want to tell a friend about the show, I'd appreciate that as well. My vinyl of the day. So next week, I'm talking to Terry. And Terry is a big Prince fan. He loves Prince. I mean, everything about Prince. He makes the trek to Paisley Park a couple times a year. Great guy, really generous in everything he does. And he also loves Butthole Surfers. So Prince and Butthole Surfers, what a combination, but that's why we love music, right? So I do not have this record in my collection because this has Pepper in it. You know, that big song, that kind of one of their big radio hits from the Butthole Surfers, Pepper. You know, Ginny got with Ginny. Da, 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 da. What is it? I don't mind the sun sometimes, the images it shows. I can blah, 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 and smell you on my clothes, cinnamon and sugar. I'm probably going to get Universal Music, if this is Universal Music, is going to be like, you've sampled too much of that by singing it, so we need to claim this video. This is our video now. Wankers. Anyways, great record. I would love to have it in my collection. If you want to get a decent copy out there on the secondary market, you're probably looking, like a decent copy that isn't beat to hell. You're probably looking at a couple $100 at minimum, maybe $300 to get a decent copy. So I'm curious if Terry has this record in his collection, and then what he'd sell it for if there was a deal to be made, perhaps. So there you go. Cool. All right. That's it. That's the big show. I am going to jump out of here for the day. I had a good time. Like Viv Savage would say, have a good time all of the time. Thanks for hanging out. We're back tomorrow. I'll have my top 5 albums from 1990, which will definitely include Empire by Queensryche, and some other good stuff. And until then, I bid you a fond farewell, and I'll see you in the emergency.